This is Calm AF, a podcast for humans who are hard on themselves. A podcast for the overthinkers, people pleasers, perfectionists, and overachievers. I'm Kristen Finch, and I'm going to teach you how to quiet that incessant negative chatter in your head. Because you know what a person with a calm mind can do? Anything they want. Grab your coffee, gorgeous soul, because today's the day you get Calm AF. Hello, gorgeous soul. Welcome to episode 300 of the Calm AF podcast. Let's just take a minute here to think about that. 300 consecutive weeks in a row. Actually, there was more than that, but 300 consecutive weeks in a row where I was showing up and doing a thing. I am not what you might call a consistent person. I am consistent-ish. But 300 in a row, that's a big deal. So I'm going to celebrate this milestone. Mostly though, I want to just really express my gratitude. It feels like a true honor, privilege. It's been a joy doing this podcast, 300 episodes. It has brought me so much joy and fulfillment. And it was something that I wanted to do for a long time before I actually started the podcast. It was a dream that I had for years, probably since I listened to Serial whenever that came out. It was like, I want to do a podcast. But I had to get over a bunch of shit. I had to overcome, my fears about how other people would perceive me. What are they going to think? Are they going to think I'm, dumb? Are they going to think I'm ridiculous? I knew what I wanted to share was so important. My mission here in this podcast, in this life, really is to be a person, be a reminder for everyone that life is short. You only get one, just this one precious life. And if you don't figure out how to, do the things that I teach here on the podcast, you are going to spend your life going through the motions, repeating old patterns. So it felt really, really important for me to spend time with you every week, teaching you what those things are, what is keeping you from living the life that you want to be living and achieving the goals and creating the dreams that you wanted to. What are the things that are keeping you from it? And that's what I've been sharing for 300 episodes, teaching you the how and the why of Calm AF. And, for the past couple of weeks, you've probably heard me say a few different times that I knew that there was a change coming. I knew that, something was shifting. And my hope, because I have been feeling the shift for a long time, not just the last few weeks, I have been feeling the shift for at least 6 months, probably longer if I'm being really honest. I knew that the shift was coming, but I really was like crystal clear, like, oh, we're almost done here. I knew it was coming, and I'd hoped by episode 300, I'd be like, and that's what it looks like next, right? And it was wrapped in a pretty package with a pretty little bow on top. Unfortunately, best laid plans. This shift that I have been feeling for a long time is still kind of coming in and out of focus. When you go to the eye doctor and you have to do that thing where you put your eyes on the machine and then you see a picture of a barn and it comes in and out of focus over and over, that kind of is how the shift has been feeling. I would say I spend more time with it in focus, but sometimes when I try and grab it, when I try and notice details of this shift, that's when it kind of leaves and goes back out of focus. So I don't have a really clear, pretty package bow on what this shift means because it's not a simple change. I think understanding the difference between change and a shift is important. So for me, I love change. I love changing things up. I get bored very easily. I like rearranging things and trying new things and trying things differently. That feels like change to me. Okay. This isn't change what I've been feeling coming. This is a shift, a significant transformation, almost like the end of a cycle, and the beginning of a new one. So instead of it going from A to B to C, like going from A to Z, it feels more like okay, I completed that. I went from A to Z and that cycle is done now. And now I'm going to be on this new path for a new cycle. But this cycle isn't A to Z. It's like 1 to 2 to 3 and so on. And that's bigger, right? It's like a caterpillar who has become the butterfly, gone through the whole metamorphosis of, dissolving into goo and then becoming a new creature and then learning how to be a butterfly to now being a butterfly. It's like doing all of that and then transforming again, like going back to the butterfly or the caterpillar cocoon stage, except this time you're not a caterpillar, you're something else. So it's a shift, right? But the good news is that, you've already gone through a complete transformation from A to Z. And so now, even though this is a different path and it's a different transformation, you already have what you need to go through the transformation with a little more ease and a little more, what's the word? Like calm, I guess. You've already done it. Like, you know what to expect. There's less uncertainty. So I have been feeling this shift coming for myself. I've been recognizing like, a lot of things are going to be changing, like completely changing, not just little changes, shifting. And what I know for sure for myself is that whenever I know this is happening for me, it's not about me. It's about, I am feeling the shift that's happening universally. It's happening for you. And over the course of 300 episodes, I feel like I know you really, really well. Even if I've never spoken to you in real life, even if you have only been with me for a little ways, what I know is we bring into our lives, we find ourselves on the path with people because we're meant to. And we are all meant here right now to kind of be experiencing this shift together, which means I know that you are also feeling this, like something is happening. There's a change, but it's not just a change, it's a shift, and I'm ready for it, right? It's like I might be a little bit nervous about what that means, but I know that I'm ready. And throughout these episodes, these 300 episodes, what I have been doing up until today is I've used it as a way of teaching the how and the why of being Calm AF, right? So we've dove deep into understanding our thoughts and our feelings and our nervous system. We have explored how to regulate our emotions instead of avoid them or numb them out. We have learned how to identify our own patterns of dysregulation. How does it show up when I'm dysregulated? Am I hypervigilant? Am I hypovigilant? We have uncovered the roots, right? We've gone really deep into understanding, where did this all come from, right? Why do I have these thoughts? If they're not true, why do I have these thoughts? If these triggers are happening, like, where did this all come from? We've spent 300 episodes doing that, and we have built a very solid foundation. You now know, even if you haven't listened to all 300, which is fine, you now know the foundation of what it takes to be Calm AF. And we have built that solid foundation together. And as I am kind of figuring out this shift in the world, what I realize is I don't, like I said, I don't have a clear, perfectly, organized language around it. But the phrase that keeps coming up to kind of explain the shift that just keeps popping into my head, the intuitive knowing, is, now we move. Now it's time to move. We've laid the groundwork. It's solid. The cement has dried. It is perfectly dry. We don't need to tiptoe on it anymore. We don't need to keep checking it over and over. Are we sure it's dry? Are we sure the foundation is solid? Are we sure it's solid? We're sure it's ready. We don't need to learn more. We don't need to dive deeper now. We've done that for 300 episodes. We took our time. We let it become part of who we are. Now the foundation is set. It's time to build the house. It's time to create the life. It's time to stop becoming Calm AF, and it's time to start being Calm AF. Embodying this, embodying and integrating all of the things that you've learned, that you don't need to carry all of this information around on your back. We're moving forward with lightness. We're setting the backpack full of information down. We're leaving it on the foundation while we go up and we start creating the life that we want to be living. It feels lighter because we're not carrying. We aren't still learning. It is embodied now. And now Calm AF, being Calm AF means that you have this deep, unshakable inner peace. This new path involves living this way, being Calm AF, not trying to be Calm AF, not just occasionally achieving the feeling of calmness, but it is integrated into your very being. It's who you are now. You don't have to keep trying to do it. You don't have to keep learning more information. It's time to be it, to live from this deep, unshakable inner peace. And I want you just to think about that for a minute. What does that mean? How would it feel if tomorrow you woke up and instead of I am learning how to do this thing, it is just like, oh, I already know this is who I am. I am deep, unshakable inner peace. I got myself. I got my own back. I am capable. I am resilient. I am confident. If you woke up with that deep, unshakable inner peace, it would change everything for how you moved forward in your life. It would be a lot lighter, wouldn't it, than what you're doing right now? When you live with this, when it is who you are, it means you are pursuing your dreams. You are achieving your goals. You are letting yourself want what you want and go after it without fear of failure or disappointment or shame. It allows you to set boundaries and to stop people-pleasing and to stop overthinking every little thing and instead just show up because the self-trust is so solid in you. This peace, this deep, unshakable inner peace, it allows you to kind of move through the challenges that happen with life, right? We don't get to be a human without being challenged, without having pain, without going through really horrible things at some points in our life. But you can do it with resilience. You can also do it knowing that that's not the only thing that life is. It's not only pain and suffering and struggle. There's also joy and love and lightness, right? This deep, unshakable inner peace allows you to understand that you can handle anything because you know how to regulate your nervous system, manage your emotions, and change your thoughts. Okay, that is the shift that's happening. We are moving. We move now from learning and becoming to embodying and being Calm AF. So what does that mean for this podcast? Well, like I said, the picture is in and out of focus. I don't have a solid answer for that yet, but I do know that there will be a pause in episodes as I figure out the next step. I really want to, I know that there is more. I know that what's next is better and it's where we all are now. It's going to fit you better. It's going to fit me better. But I need, because I haven't had any breaks for 300 episodes, I want to take just a little bit of time to take a step back and really let myself kind of soak into what that is, what it means, what it's going to look like next. And I promise you, I will return to share what that is, whether it's episode 301 or me telling you about something entirely new. So make sure you are subscribed to this podcast so that you get updates. And in the show notes, make sure that you are on my email list. You need to be on my email list because anything new that happens with Calm AF, I'm going to make sure I'm sharing it there first and foremost. Because this shift extends to my life and includes all of the areas of my business, which means Calm AF Life. Call My F Life is my 6-month program where I teach all of this. And then every week as a group, we work on moving from becoming to being Calm AF in our group calls every single week. It's amazing. We have been transitioning together, and even though it's kind of the first they have heard of this like official shift, we are going to keep moving forward together as a community in Calm AF Life. If you are not yet a member of Calm AF Life, I would really consider joining before the enrollment pauses in July. I've mentioned that already. This isn't new information. We're going to close enrollment in July because I want to, as a community, as like a group together, transition from the foundation piece to the building of the house, to the being the Calm AF life. And so if you aren't in there, if you're in there, buckle up, baby. If you're not, it's probably time to join if this, what I'm talking about today, is resonating with you. If you're like, yes, I'm ready to move. I'm ready to stop trying to gather more information. I know that it's time for me to shift. I really encourage you to join if this resonates with you. And let me just say one quick little thing about we move now, right? Like buckle up. I assure you what it's not going to look like is like hustle, pacing, or moving fast or hypervigilance. That is not what this shift is going to look like. It's more of like a settling in and a flow instead of working and trying. It's like just in getting in the flow of, the shift and letting it take you places, right? Just having fun with what do I want to create? And if I know I have this deep, unshakable inner peace, I know trying anything is just going to be fun because I'm not afraid of failing. I want to make sure you hear me, that we are not being like, and then day one, we're going to do this. That is never going to be Calm AF. Now, you will move faster, 100%. You will for sure move faster, because when you're not trying to lay the foundation while you're building the house, you're going to go a lot faster. So stay tuned for more ways that you can stay with the Calm AF process, whether that's through the group, the Calm AF Life, or through re-listening, doing a re-listen to the podcast. There is something for you. And make sure if you know Calm AF Life is just not going to be your thing, which why not? But if it's not, at least make sure you are subscribed to my email list, because there will be new things popping up for you if you definitely want to have access to the tools in a really kind of like condensed and easy to access place, but not necessarily in the Calm AF Life program. Okay? So we're moving. We move now, but we move lightly. We move joyfully. We move with confidence and with that deep, unshakable inner peace. And as we do that, as we move forward, I want you just to imagine how it feels to take everything that you've learned from 300 episodes or however many, and what it would feel like to let it integrate within you, right? That you don't need to carry it around and constantly be seeking more information. You're ready. You are equipped with all the tools and the knowledge needed to move forward freely and lightly, and we will move together. We're going to get past the things that have kept you stuck. We're going to overcome procrastination. We're going to get rid of perfectionism. We are going to squash people pleasing. We are moving with this deep, unshakable inner peace, and that means we are approaching life with mindfulness and intentionality. We're free from the shit that has held us back in the past. We move now. All right? With that, thank you. My deepest gratitudes. Thank you for being here with me. It has been such a joy and a pleasure, every minute of it. If you want to be part of my shift, make sure to join Calm AF Life. Make sure you're subscribed to the email list for updates. It's been an honor to share 300 episodes with you. This is not goodbye. This is just a pause as we kind of prepare and figure out what is next. You, gorgeous soul, are a gorgeous soul. I know sometimes people when they hear me say gorgeous soul, they're like, she doesn't even know me. I know your soul. I know your soul is beautiful and radiant, and you have spent a big part of your life dulling it, dimming it, not letting other people see it. And I know for sure, there is no doubt in my mind, your soul is gorgeous and radiant. So please let it shine. We need your light. And remember that you are love. You are worthy of love just as you are. None of this information is trying to change who you are. It's about becoming who you naturally are, which is calm AF. That is your natural state. You don't have to learn how to be a different person. You have to release the things that you thought made you a problem that you needed to fix and return to your natural state, which is calm AF, which is deep, unshakable inner peace. I love you. I look forward to continuing this journey with you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for listening. And before you go, one more thing. So as you know, I am slightly obsessed with helping as many humans tap into their calm AFness as possible. So if this podcast has helped you, would you please leave a review, make sure you're subscribed, and share it with your friends. Also, make sure you head on over to KristenFinch.com to see how you can work with me. You can sign up for my emails and get any other goodies I have available. Until next week, I love you so much. I am so grateful that you're here. I'll see you next time.